guys doing? I hope you guys are all doing well. I hope you guys are happy, healthy, and safe. I'm still in my wonderful room of quarantine. I still have today's Tuesday, January 21st, 2021. So I will be in my quarantine until after Christmas. Basically, the last day of my quarantine is the 26th of December, because the 27th I go back to work. So the 26th be the day where um, I need to do my hair. Like, I need to probably comb it out and re-braid it. My hair has been like in this kind of braid since last week. I just don't have the time, the energy. Well, I do have the time. I don't have the energy or the desire to do anything to my head. As long as it's washed, it's oiled, and it's put up. It's usually in a scarf all day and all night, so it won't get damaged. But yeah, anyways, today I am 34 weeks and 2 days pregnant. And things have definitely have changed so drastically since I turned since I started my third trimester. So as you've seen last video, if you haven't, go ahead and watch it. I have COVID-19, which sucks, especially being pregnant to have COVID. And it's a lot more dangerous for pregnant women to get COVID than it is for someone that's not. But thankfully, I did have my two um, vaccines prior to me getting COVID, so I didn't get as sick as I was, and I was pretty healthy anyway before getting COVID. But things are progressing a little bit faster for my pregnancy because of COVID, and then because I have gestational diabetes, now I might be developing preeclampsia. So it's just like, it's since the 17th of November, it's been one thing after another, after another, after another with this pregnancy. I'm so grateful that she's okay, she's good. I had to go to, I'll talk to you guys about it in a minute, but on Friday I went to do my IV um, infusion for the micro. I can't remember what it was, but it's antibodies for COVID if you're pregnant. I went to get that, and they had to check the baby, and the baby's fine. So I'm not worried that anything's wrong with her, but at the same time, it's like I don't know if any of it, what I'm going through now, has affected her at all. Her heart rate and everything. She's moving. She's kicking. Um, Heart rate is really good, really strong. So they're not really worried about. She does not look in distress. So they're not worried about her. They're just worried about me because of what's going on. So, like I said, I was diagnosed with gestation on the 17th of November. I've been taking my blood sugar. I recorded it into my little book that I have that's in here, and I also have one at work. But I documented in this little book right here. I need to check. I forgot to check my blood sugar after I ate. Oh well, I'll check it. I'll check before I eat dinner, and then I'll check it before bedtime, so I could make that up. This week has been a little bit difficult for me to check my blood sugars because, like I said, I was not feeling good whatsoever. Since I got diagnosed with COVID on Wednesday, but I start feeling sick on Tuesday. And right now I'm much better than what I was before. My throat doesn't hurt any longer. My throat was on fire Tuesday evening, all day Wednesday, and 90% of Thursday, and just a little bit of Friday. Just like the first few hours on Friday. My voice was completely gone until yesterday evening. Now I still sound a little sick, but I don't sound as bad as I was before. You couldn't make out a word I was saying. My voice was just gone. Like nothing was there. I've been eating lots of oatmeal in the morning. I think today was one of the first days I did not eat oatmeal. I had my leftover pizza for dinner. I was really craving pizza yesterday. Um, I had the leftover pizza and breadsticks. Well, I had one pizza, and then for lunch I had the other pizza plus the breadsticks for lunch, and then I had some fish sandwiches not too long ago. But I've been eating oatmeal. I've been drinking plenty of warm tea with honey and ginger and turmeric in it so that I can get better, which definitely helped. I used salt water, and warm water with salt to gargle for my sore throat, as well as the numbing spray, which the numbing spray, honestly, it did not do a thing. It will numb it for like 30 seconds and it was back to being painful. The salt water did more than anything else. But I'll do the numbing spray. 30 minutes later, I'll do the salt water. And then I'll do the numbing spray again. That kind of made it to work just a little bit. But the pure honey, taking the pure honey by itself, as well as drinking it with tea, and the halls that are Vicks Vapor Up halls. I don't know where they went to, but I have Vicks Vapor Up makes halls as well. If you are sick, under the weather, for cold, congestion, anything that has to do with your sinuses, get the Vicks Vapor halls. They work wonders. They're very strong. Sometimes it might be like a little bit acquired taste to get used to, but if you are wanting your sinus cavities to open up, that works so well. I usually will have one, and as well I'll put one in my tea. I'll try to have at least two or three of, like, at least 3 to 4 of them a day, and then for the others I just use like regular halls. Um, so I brought like snacks and drinks and stuff up here in my quarantine room. Once I'm done quarantining, I am definitely going to like wipe down the walls, because this is the room actually me and my baby girl are going to be in. So I need to sanitize the walls. Every inch of this room needs to get sanitized and cleaned out. I am taking the curtains off over here, putting these in my office, because these are like every bit of light goes through them. I'm going to get the blackout curtains for this room, because in the morning it gets so bright and I don't want her to wake up. I don't know if that's going to bother her or not, so I want to replace those sort of blackout ones. And everything else in this room needs to get like purely sanitized and cleaned out. Walls, everything. Thankfully, it's a small room, so I'll be able to do it all in one day. But yeah, I'm definitely going to be doing that. I've been drinking plenty of water. I got this little from Dick's Sporting Goods, when like you just press on it and this water comes out. Try to keep myself hydrated. That's very important while you're pregnant and while you're sick. That helped me a lot. I peed so much last week, so much. I was peeing like every hour, because one thing that was soothing my throat was warm liquid. So I was just drinking so much tea. I peed so much. The first like 2-3 days I peed so much. But yeah, it's getting better, but I'm still in the contagious state. So I still have to be in quarantine until Saturday or Sunday, and then I go back to work on Monday. I do have my OB appointment on Wednesday, and we are doing that B strep test that day. And she said if I end up being positive for the B strep, they're going to give me antibiotics the day I deliver. So we talked a little bit about that. We talked about my symptoms, or whatever. And then she had asked me what happened with the infusion. I see that you didn't get it. I said, yeah, I went to get it, but I ended up having like a severe reaction to it. It was from 0 to 1,000 within like a split of a second. So they explained to me like the infusion is going to help with my symptoms. It's not a cure of COVID. It's just going to help with the symptoms. It's still like, being studied. They don't know too much about it being studied and stuff like that, but they've seen so much benefit from the women that have been doing it. They said like at least about 500 people in my hospital so far has done it, and they have gotten better. Like, but they said it's not a cure. It's just to help you maintain your symptoms, to get you better, to get you more antibodies in your system, you might have a reaction to it like anything else in this world. You could take Tylenol every day and then one day you might be allergic to it. It's just how things work. Um, and then I asked him, I said, how about if it gets to a point that's so severe that it starts affecting baby? Because they do put the monitor on you and they monitor both of us. She said they will stop immediately, continue flushing out my through IV, and then they would have to book me an emergency C-section. So I was like, that was a really tough decision to make. And I was there by myself. I'm like, all right, let's just go ahead and do it because I need to get better. So they prepared everything. We were doing just regular IV at first. She goes, it's best for you to have IV anyway because you look a little bit dehydrated anyhow. So, and then she's like, we're going to start the medicine. The nurse said, I'll be here in this room with you for about 5-10 minutes. And then the medicine lasts at least 20 minutes. After that, we have to watch you for about an hour to an hour and a half. And if everything is fine, then you can leave. I said, great. So she's like, one of the symptoms also is body aches, headaches, nausea, vomiting, shortness of breath, sometimes like severe to the point where your throat closes up, like severe anaphylactic, I can't pronounce that word, reaction. So she said, I have to be in the room with you while this is going for the first 10 minutes, which I'm so glad she was. She started the medicine, the antibodies. Within 2 minutes of receiving it, I started feeling like pain on my shoulders and on my lower back. I was like, okay, this kind of like body ache. So I'm just like moving around. I'm like, oh, my body kind of hurts. And then I'm like, okay, my body's really hurting. And then within like 30 seconds, I just start screaming. I said, get this out of me. It hurts so bad. She said, where is it hurting? I said, everywhere, especially my lower back, my stomach, my legs, my knees. Every single joint in my body was hurting. It felt like every joint was popping, like exploding. It was very painful. So they had to shut it off. They called the emergency doctor, and he came in. He said, okay, we're going to have to stop this because he's like, you are in severe pain and I can tell. My body was like arching and I'm trying to felt like I was trying to get out of my own body. And he said he has to call infectious disease to see what else they could do. Infectious disease said that's the only thing they can get. And they don't, the severity of my reaction, they did not want to chance me getting it again with like Benadryl or something like that, or cutting it in half, or like giving it to me very slowly at a time. They just said it's just better off not to do it because it was such a severe reaction. So they just gave me the remaining amount of fluid. It took about 10-15 minutes, maybe about 20 minutes for the pain to stop. And then I finished the rest of the fluid, made sure that, there was no nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, dizziness. They put the monitor back on the baby for about 45 more minutes, making sure she was okay, making sure I was okay. They did my blood pressure quite a few more times. And after the reaction was completely over with the medicine, they said I can go home. So yeah, the molecule, whatever it's called for the COVID treatment. Well, it's not a treatment, but for the medicine they give pregnant women that get COVID, I had a severe reaction to it. So I'm just thankful that it wasn't so bad to the point where we had to do an emergency C-section. Because if we had to do an emergency C-section, I would have been so devastated. 33 weeks pregnant. I mean, she would have been fine, but that's just too early. So went home. The weekend I just stayed in bed. Nothing was hurting from that, but it still was just, that just took everything out of me. Then today I had an appointment with my doctor, but I have bought my blood pressure cuff machine on the 13th, which was that Monday, because I gave my father one, and I said I needed one for the house. So I've been checking my blood pressure, And I've noticed my I keep it in this book, my blood pressure has been slowly rising. So it went from like, let's see, on the 16th, my blood pressure was reading 125 over 88. That's like, 88 is pretty high for me. Mine, I usually am like a 70, 65, something like that. And then every single day since then has been rising slowly, slowly. Today, when I first woke up in the morning, I think it's like, I woke up at 4 something, but I didn't check it at that time. I went back to sleep. So when I woke up at 8, before I even got off the bed, because I keep the blood pressure on my bed with me, my blood pressure is 134 over 90. This is immediately after waking up. So that is pretty high for me. That's one of the highs I've had in a very long time. I think the last time I had a high blood pressure is when I was very, very, very ill. I think I had like double pneumonia or something like that. So I checked it again, like at 5 o'clock, is 128 over 90. So the reason why I'm mentioning it is because, well, I'm 38. I'll be 39 January 10th. I have gestational diabetes. Now I have COVID-19. And before the COVID situation, I had an appointment with a high-risk doctor when I got diagnosed with gestational. And he said, there's a very high risk, high chance that you will develop preeclampsia. And he said, even though your blood pressure is beautiful right now, there's a really big chance that you're going to develop it, but we have to watch it. That's the reason why, well, I had, at that time I had my old one, so I didn't need to buy another one, but I gave it to my dad because he has heart condition. His blood pressure was uncontrolled. So I gave him that one and I bought me a new one. And I start checking it when I start not feeling well. Actually, I started checking it that Monday because I was feeling a little bit woozy. I'm like, I shouldn't be feeling dizzy. Like, why am I feeling dizzy? I think that was like maybe like early symptoms of me being sick. Getting out of breath. So I checked it and it was fine that day, and then I started checking it every day since then. Since I've been checking it every single day since then, it's been going up higher and higher. So my doctor said to watch it, both numbers, the systolic and diastolic. So to make sure the systolic is your top number, she said don't want it to be over 140 or above, and the diastolic is your bottom number, and she doesn't want it to be 90 and above. So my diastolic has been at 90 for the past day and a half, which is not good for me. Usually, like I said, is like in the high 60s or like low 70s or mid 70s. And then the top part, the highest has been is at 134. Whew. Again, out of breath. 134. So she said if it ends up going to 140 over 90, I need to go into labor delivery, let them know that so it can bring it down because she doesn't want it to go any higher than that. If it starts going higher than that, then they might have to bring her earlier. And I'm trying my best for that not to happen. So I'm trying my best like to de-stress, decompress. Even though I am so sick and tired of being in quarantine, I am going to take this opportunity to just basically put myself on bed rest and just chill, and everything's taken care of, bills are paid, just chill, just relax and stuff like that. But then today somebody tried to break into my house while I was at home. So it's just like that brought my anxiety even higher, and I'm like, great. Like, I don't want to say what else, but so I heard like, how a door was like shaking. So I look outside and somebody was trying to open up the door. They couldn't open it, so they started walking away. I had went and checked my mail this morning, and I almost forgot to lock the door. I'm like, let me go back and lock the door. And I locked it. I leave my house key up here because it has the alarm thing on here. Since I've been on quarantine, I've been upstairs. So I leave this up here with me. My husband will come, he's like, I'm outside, and I'll take the alarm off. So I'll take the alarm off. I put the away alarm on. So if I decide to go downstairs, the main alarm will go off, saying that somebody is, trying to get into the house. When we're both downstairs, I put the alarm, like, while you're in, you can have the alarm on. But right now, if I go downstairs, the alarm is going to go off. So I did not put that on yet. I was like, okay, I'll put it on in just a minute. Then my mom had called me. That's when I was talking to my mom. That's when I heard the door trying to like bang open, and um, I called my husband immediately. I was going to call the police, but the area we live in, by the time the police comes, it'll be like 4 hours. So my husband was here in 5 minutes. He made sure he checked the perimeter. He stayed for a little bit. He called his best friend to come and sit outside while he goes back to work, which was so sweet. Um, I mean, we have forms of protection at home, um, so I'm not afraid to use it, but that's not what I want to do. I don't want to use it. I never want to have to use it. But there's a form of protection, so he made sure that I have one. And then he left, and then his best friend came and sat outside until my husband got off from work. So that was just like really kind. He will circle the block around. I told my husband exactly what the guy had on. I got like the only thing I didn't get is the what he looks like because I saw him from the back. So that brought my anxiety even higher, but I decided not to check my blood pressure at that time because it was going to be high anyway. So I decided to wait a while. That was like at 12:30. Yeah, because I had my doctor's appointment video visit at 12:30 as well. Well, that happened like around 11:45. So I decided to wait, and then at 2:45, I decided to check my blood pressure again. It was 130 over 93. That is like super high for me. I was wondering why I was getting dizzy. I thought it was probably the COVID. But when I'm checking him, my blood pressure is going high. So I'm afraid that I am developing preeclampsia, um, which is going to suck big time because then I know for a fact now that she is most likely going to come early, but I'm trying my best to keep her in until 37 weeks. I'm 34 weeks and 2 days pregnant today. The day after Christmas, I'll be 35 weeks. At least, even if she comes at 36 weeks, she'll be okay. But I really prefer her to come after 37 weeks pregnant. So what my OB said is to continue taking my blood pressure throughout the day. Like, wait 2-3 hours, check it, 2-3 hours, check it, and then keep writing him down. Do it all the rest of today, the rest is tomorrow, and then Thursday, if they're still that high, the bottom number is high, and the top number is creeping up to 140, then go into labor and delivery. But the only thing about that is like my mother lives in Virginia. Right now she is like horribly sick. It was not with COVID because she got tested twice. They're both negative, but her next door neighbor has a really bad cold. If somebody passes by and sneezes and my mom is passing by the other direction, my mom is going to get sick. Like, her immune system is not great. She will get sick like that. If you tell her you have a cold, within a couple of days she has a cold. Like, she is so sensitive. So she's in Virginia nursing herself. I feel really bad that she's sick. But if they have to induce me even earlier, I'm not ready. I thought I was ready. I'm not ready. None of her clothes is washed. Okay. Um, None of her bottles are sterilized. Like, I cannot sterilize them now. I don't want to wash her clothes now. I am completely germified. Like, I do not want to touch none of her stuff. It's bad enough I'm in this room, where the room she's going to be in with me. But like I said, I'm going to completely sanitize this room once I get better. Um, I don't know how we're going to do that. I have a steamer, so I'm going to steam the pack and play. I'm definitely going to steam the heck out of that. I'm steaming the mess out of my bed. I'm washing the bed sheets a couple of times. I'm going to go to Target or Walmart and get the Lysol um, clothes detergent that's to sanitize your clothes. I'm going to wash them regularly and then wash them with that to completely sanitize um, everything that I touch. Like we've been wiping and spraying down everything I touched. Been around. Today was the first day I've been downstairs since Friday. So I try not to leave my room. If I do leave my room, is to go to the bathroom, which is right over there. And then our master bedroom is actually like a studio as well for me, for my business. So I have a microwave in there. So I will warm up my food, warm up water and everything I need in that room. So um, I spray and sanitize that area. Every time I walk in is sanitized. Every time I walk out this room and walk back up and walk in this room is sanitized. So it just really sucks. Like COVID and pregnancy. So COVID period sucks. Quarantine sucks. COVID-19 and pregnancy and quarantine sucks. Like it really, really does suck. But like I said, I'm gonna make myself do like a bed rest thing until I go back to work. Maybe I can bring this blood pressure down. Maybe it's because of the COVID, and bring this blood pressure down. Try not to stress out. Yeah. So that's what's been going on with me. It's a lot, but um, it could be a lot worse. I am very sleepy, but I can't sleep because my husband had to step away for a minute. I can't sleep because I'm worried that somebody's going to try to break in again. So I have to wait for him to come home. And it's like almost 6 o'clock. Anyway, the county that I live in, COVID-19 has spiked the highest since we had COVID-19. Uh, things are not getting better. It's going to get worse. So please, if you do anything, just please protect yourself. Wear your mask. Wash your hands. Sanitize your hands. Stay away from 6 feet away. If you are going to be in a gathering, put on your face mask. That was every single person's fault in my baby shower. Every single one of us were in fault for not wearing a face mask. When I first got there, I had one. I took it off. And then I forgot to put it back on because we were just having such a great time. Like, this is the dream. I've wanted to have a baby shower. I've always wanted to have a baby shower. I wanted to have a gender reveal, but we never end up doing it. I wanted to have like a nice big wedding, but we never end up doing it. So, and I wanted to do a 10-year wedding anniversary, but we never end up doing it. So, John? Babe? Can I tell you to call me? Yeah?
Don't call out the name.
Okay.
Don't call out. Just wait to see if the wait to see if the alarm will go off. You know what I'm saying? Come in the chair, though.
Okay, here I come. Anyways, I gotta go. I'll get something from downstairs. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye. I'm coming.